it's Ria here. Today we're going to talk about a topic I think a lot of you guys are going to be interested in, and I hope I can help you guys. We are going to talk about Flower Nose. Flower Nose is a Chinese makeup brand which has gone pretty viral, especially for their pretty packaging. However, obviously when purchasing makeup, you don't just want the makeup packaging to look pretty, you actually want it to make you look pretty, so it has to function. If you guys know me, you might also know I do a lot of really fun makeup looks. Not so much on YouTube, more on other platforms, but I'm trying to do it more on here too. I've been using Flower Nose products for years now, and I actually bought most of them myself. I've only recently finally made it on their PR list. However, I definitely think there are some products which are worth their money and some which you don't necessarily need from Flower Nose. So based on my personal opinion, this is going to be my guide on how to buy Flower Nose. Let's get right into it. Let's start very simple. They have a lot of really cute knickknacks. Things like these hairpins, hand creams, mirrors, and cute little keychains which act like any makeup product, or I think even as a perfume sometimes. I actually wouldn't necessarily recommend to spend your money on this, solely for the fact that if you actually buy quite a bit of makeup from them, they sometimes send you these as a gift, so you don't necessarily have to buy them, especially hair clips and mirrors. I now have about 4 or 5 mirrors just because I always got them as an extra. So I definitely think they are really pretty, and you should own at least one of these because they make you feel like a princess while getting ready. But you don't necessarily have to spend your money on them, if I'm being honest. And things like the hand cream, I think obviously it's pretty, it also smells really nice. Do you need a hand cream from Flower Nose? Probably not. Also, let's talk about this keychain highlighter. It's from their Shell's Jewel collection. It is pretty cute. I've also made a video about it. It definitely is sparkly, but I think it's trying to be the Fenty Beauty Diamond Bomb, and it's just not. It doesn't give off as much of glitter. You really have to go in a couple of times to get a lot of glitter. But if you generally want a highlighter, I wouldn't go for this. If you want a cute little keychain, then sure, go for it. Same thing kind of goes with the primers for me. I am a little biased because I'm just genuinely not a fan of primers. I think if you do skincare right and if you have sunscreen, you don't necessarily need a primer. It's just an extra layer. It is really pretty, and I guess it does what a primer is supposed to do. You just don't necessarily need it, in my opinion. Also, I have 2 of their powders. And as you can tell, I've already used this one quite a bit. I must say I just love the way they are made. Like, you can put your cushion in there. It comes with a cushion, mine is just not in there right now because I'm using it. I also have the one from their Shell's Jewel collection, and I must say these are pretty good powders. I think they do their job really nicely, and they kind of make pores disappear. However, I must add, I have not tried that many powders yet, so I can't really say if they are like especially great in comparison to other powders. Let's move on to lip products because I have a bunch of them, and these are not all of the ones I own. So I have a nice mixture of matte and glossy lipsticks from Flower Nose. In general, I'm just more of a fan of glossy lips. However, if I were to recommend you any matte lips from Flower Nose, I think I would go with these Strawberry Cupid cake lip creams. I think they're really cute because the way they are made is just a little different and really pretty, especially like this one. As you can tell, I've used it, and it's really similar to the color I'm wearing right now. This gloss, this one is from the Shell's Jewel collection. It's a clear one, but I've used it a couple of times. It has tiny little sparkles in it, and sure enough, it is pretty. However, if I'm being honest, price point wise, I don't know if I would recommend Flower Nose lip products. First of all, most of them are glosses, not necessarily tints, so I feel like from my personal experience they haven't been really long lasting. If I go out and drink and eat, they're probably going to be gone. They are obviously really pretty, and I also can't complain about the colors. I think the colors are really pretty. I must say they have a smell to them which maybe could cause headaches because it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of sweet but also alcoholic, and also it's just the price point. I think I would rather recommend going for Romance lip tints or for Daisy lip tints, which are even cheaper, which do an amazing job as well. They look really pretty and just don't cost as much, but obviously the packaging is less extravagant. But that's just my personal opinion. Obviously until now Everything I said was kind of in the middle. It wasn't really good and positive. It wasn't entirely negative. It's going to get better now though. Let's move on to the products I'm actually quite a fan of. Let's talk about their blushes. I obviously have quite a few. I have all of the cream blushes from their Strawberry Cupid collection. I must say, I think they are really, really pretty. They all kind of have a pink nudish tone though. I think this one is the one which is like a rose color, a little more muted, and it's my favorite color. The other ones are really pink. Let me swatch them for you. That's really pink. I'm not a good beauty influencer apparently. At least when it comes to swatches, I kind of suck. Yeah, this one is actually my favorite. That's what they look like. I also think they have a really nice glow. They are really easy to blend in. Actually, if you blend them in, they are not that vibrant anymore, but you can easily build them up. And I already swatched them once yesterday because actually this is my second time filming this video. And I realized they stain a lot. I never realized that on my face, but probably because I get rid of it with oil cleanser. But they actually stain. So these are not blushes that will disappear throughout the day. So I really like these. My only kind of negative point is that I would have really liked more colors. I'm kind of missing more of a rose shade and something with a little bit more of a red undertone. Other than that, I think these are really good. Also, we have to talk about these two powder blushes. They are like my first love. I have this one from, I think it's the Strawberry Rococo collection. The color is called Dream Chaser. It's this really nice muted color that's like not too much in your face, but I think it looks amazing for everyday makeup look. Same goes for this one. This one is from the Unicorn series, I think. Yes. I don't think this is available anymore, but I feel like this has the perfect shade to... Oh, you can see me twice now. But I feel like this is the perfect shade to be used between a blush and a contour. I really like using it here to basically contour my cheeks first because I don't really use contour for my cheeks. So a blush is my contour, and then I like to put this one on top, a little bit higher up. These are my favorite blushes. I'm going to be so sad when these are empty. Also, I feel like their powder blushes have a similar effect to powder. Like, it literally blends in your skin. It looks like you don't have any pores anymore. They are crazy. Then I have an in-between powder and liquid blush. It's kind of like a cream blush. It's from their new collection, from the Charles Stewart collection. I don't know if you can tell, but they have a little bit of a shimmer. So they act like a highlighter as well. I'm actually wearing this one on top today because I don't know, I thought I was gonna be a little more peachy today. Usually I've been wearing this one as an everyday blush, but I think both are so stunning. So I personally would say the blushes are worth it. However, even in this category where I really love almost everything, there's one product I'm not a big fan of, and it's their ombre blushes. It looks really pretty. I don't know, maybe it's just this one in particular with the blue. It's in the color 01 Snow Goddess. I'm familiar with Chinese makeup techniques. I know you're supposed to use this basically as like a matte highlighter or to prep your skin for the blush to go on top. However, the bluish never really looked that good on me. Even when I put a different blush on top, I just felt like it didn't look really great. So I never really reached for this. So I feel like if you're not a big makeup geek who wants to try out all the hacks, you can kind of pass on the ombre collection. I'm not a big fan. I also feel like the rest is not really pigmented that much, so it doesn't show up on my skin a lot, and I would personally say that I'm pretty pale already. But if colors don't show up on my skin, then on who will they, right? So yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend the ombre collection. All the other blushes though, I'm such a big fan of. If you're looking for really pretty blushes, especially ones that you could use like as a contour shade as well, or ones that are really good for everyday wear, then I would definitely recommend the Flow & Noise blushes. These are definitely products you can invest in. And last but definitely not least, they are eyeshadow palettes. Guys, these are my favorite product from Flow & Noise. So already, I would say yes, go get these eyeshadow palettes. I think their glitters are amazing. The colors are so pretty. They're actually really pigmented. I use them for all of my colorful makeup looks. And if you follow me and you have some of these palettes, you can get tutorials on how I use them. Obviously, I would say there are some eyeshadow palettes which are better for everyday wear and some which are not so good for everyday wear. So in this category, it's really all about you having to figure out what you want from this eyeshadow palette. If you're like me and you're a makeup lover and you sometimes like to do colorful looks, then obviously you can get one of the more colorful palettes like this one, which is obviously stunning, but we don't have to talk about it because all of their products are stunning. This one is one of the eyeshadow palettes I wouldn't necessarily recommend for people for everyday wear though, because how often are you gonna wear purple or pink? Even though this brown shade is really nice for eyeliner, probably not necessarily something for somebody who wants a really nice everyday simple look. Same goes for this one. This is their Black Swan palette. It's really pretty and I love their holographic glitters they have in there. Let me show you. This is the silver. And this is the white holographic. It's really pretty. No complaints about this. I've used it a lot for like black cat makeup looks. Oh, that looks crazy now. However, still, I feel like a lot of people probably don't use white and black and red every day, so maybe that's not necessarily an everyday palette for you. However, I feel like there are in-between palettes. I think this one is a really nice in-between palette because these are really wearable shades. You can use these for your eyeshadow and this for an eyeliner. Really nice everyday colors. Then you have a little bit of a green touch, which you might not use every day, but it's a really fun extra if you want one of their more signature palettes, I feel like, because I feel like Flower Nose is known for their dreamy palettes. Same also goes for this one. This actually was my everyday palette for quite a long time. It's from their chocolate shop collection, I think. This one was called Witch Boutique. I don't know if they still have this in stock, but I used these colors for everyday a lot, and then sometimes I did a fun look like this with a little bit more glitter. So I feel like palettes like these are a really good solution if you want the best of both worlds. And obviously they also have palettes which are really wearable for every day. And this is one of them. It's from their Strawberry Cupid collection. I'm pretty sure they still have this. I actually already gave this away in one of my giveaways. This is mine, but I had another one. So just so you know, I'm trying to do a lot more giveaways throughout all of my platforms. And I might be giving away Flower Nose stuff sometimes. This actually is the palette I've been using for my everyday looks. I'm wearing it today as well. I think this is a perfect palette. All of these shades are super wearable. Their glitters are beautiful. You can also use this as a blush. And I always use this shade as my Eyeshadow. I think a lot of people use it as a matte highlighter as well. I'm a little too pale, but as I said, it works perfectly for my Eyeshadow. So this one is a really good everyday palette, and they always release at least one everyday palette. So as a conclusion, I would say the best products to get from Flower Nose are their eyeshadow palettes. I think they're kind of famous for them as well, and I can definitely tell you I love the pigment. I've been using them for years now. They all still look great. They're pigmented, they have beautiful glitters. I love their eyeshadow palettes. So if there's one thing you really want to invest in, it's the eyeshadow palettes. Next up are their blushes. I think they're really good. I love them. I think East Asian brands have more unique shades sometimes, like really muted shades. So definitely go check that out. And then you can still try to see if maybe they have a set on sale at the moment. Sometimes they do like sets from certain collections where they have like eyeshadow palette, blush, and maybe some lip glosses and a mirror. And I feel like that's a nice idea. I don't think you need to invest into Flower Nose lip products, into their primers, into any little knickknacks like their hair clips. The powder is good. I don't know if other powders will do the same thing. But yeah, as I said, if there's one thing I would definitely recommend you to get, it's the eyeshadow palettes and maybe the blushes. One thing I forgot to mention, which I think probably falls under the same category as the eyeshadow palettes, is their contour palettes. I sadly haven't tried one yet, but I love East Asian contouring shades and I definitely want a contour palette. And since their eyeshadow palettes are made so nicely, I'm pretty sure their contour palettes have similar quality. I also know they have fragrances. I haven't tried them yet. I'm not a big fan of ordering fragrances when I cannot try them out, so yeah. Anyways, that was it with today's video. This will be my guide on how to shop flower nose. I really hope I could help maybe at least one of you. If you enjoyed this video, then maybe like and subscribe if you haven't yet. And then I hope to see you again next week. Bye bye!